Do you feel like poking the bear a little bit? Taking a match and igniting some gasoline and maybe saying some controversial things?
Let's say some controversial thing. What do you have in mind?
Oh, should we talk about food and what people are feeding their cats? And
Oh
that
boy.
if your cat isn't eating wet food and you're feeding them kibble, you're not a bad person. It doesn't make you a bad cat parent. Like, you are just feeding your cat what they will
What
eat.
they will
And
eat.
I'm not getting into any of the if your cat will eat kibble and wet food, which one is better. We're not talking about that. I'm talking about if your cat just does not have an interest in it and you've tried things, a fed cat is better than a starving cat.
Yes, because people sometimes say like, oh, she'll eat it if she gets hungry enough. No. Actually, she probably won't. She'll probably just get extremely stressed. Don't put your cat in that situation. It's not going to be good. It's not that they will eat it if they get hungry enough. No. There are cats who need
That's
to be
also
reminded
dangerous, too.
It's so dangerous because cats need to eat regularly with their metabolism. Otherwise, their organs can start to shut down. Cats, they're not just going to eat when they get hungry if it's a food that they don't like. You got to respect that they have preferences. And like you said, a fed cat is better than not. Even if it's not necessarily the ideal food, if your cat won't eat it, it doesn't matter if it's the highest quality human grade piece of meat. They won't touch it. It's not going to do them any good. So you need to start with where they're at and see what we can build from there.
Misty, are people bad people for giving their cats treats?
Oh, such a fun question. No, not at all. Giving your cats treats can be like giving kids sweets, It can be fun. It can be enjoyable, and food should be enjoyable.
You don't have to eat a kale salad for every meal to be healthy.
That's... And if you did do that and you were physiologically healthy, would you be happy? I mean, I wouldn't be.
And if that is you, if that is your jam, you do you, that's fine.
You can't force that on your cat. You can't force your cat to try to eat the healthy type of meal that you have in mind for them. Treats aren't a bad thing as a wholesale statement. Just like with anything, too much of a good thing becomes not a good thing. And we end up with cats that look like a bowling ball with legs. And while initially that seems cute, it's really not, because it's terrible for their health in the long run and compromises their longevity. We don't want to do that to our cats. We don't want to treat them into a state of obesity. But we also don't want to withhold treats and be like, my cat should just obey me because they respect me. And like, no, it doesn't
Cats
work
don't
like
understand.
that. It doesn't even work like that with people. Like, would you do your job if you didn't get paid? No.
You're not going to just blindly respect someone because you should. It's even
It
if you're,
doesn't work that way.
quote, obeying them. Think about if you've ever had a boss that you're like, man, they are such a moron. I just do not, everything they say is wrong. I had a boss that I remember I was just like, oh my God, this guy does not know how to run a company. Like, no wonder people are quitting constantly. I was still, polite to him, and I was still, doing my job. Even when he would say things, I'd be like, oh my God, you are just you have no idea what you're doing. I didn't respect him. Even if cats understood the concept of respect, they would be in a similar situation where it's like, they're not going to necessarily just respect you just because, and they also don't have an obligation to do that.
No.
One other thing I want to say too about treats is that they are a treat. I think people get too black and white about certain treats because they'll be like, this thing is really bad for my cat. I can't give it to them ever. And in some cases, it's actually okay in very small amounts. I'm not saying everything is like that.
Right.
But for example, kibble, I don't like when people kibble shame because, again, a fed cat is better than a starving cat. And if someone really can't afford wet food and they're feeding their cats, you know what? Your cat is still eating. They still have a full belly. It's the best that they can do. It is better than nothing. If someone is giving their cat, for example, tuna every once in a while, I had someone the other day who I had posted something that was like a mixed pumpkin with canned tuna as a treat. And people were like, you can't ever, just so you know, like tuna's really bad all the time. I looked it up, FYI, and according to veterinarians who I trust more than randos on the internet, no, it not all the time. Don't get me wrong. You shouldn't be making like just plain tuna the bulk of your cat's diet because of valid concerns about mercury and sodium. But nobody's saying that. I'm talking if you give your cats once a year, you mix a little bit of tuna and pumpkin together, they're going to be fine.
Totally.
And again, that was the conclusion. Actually, the veterinarian that I saw that had written this article was like, you could probably feed your cat tuna more often than I was even thinking or suggesting, where I was like, man, you know, once or twice a year, give them a little bit of tuna that doesn't have any additional additives or anything like that. It probably okay. And again, this is not meant to be like nutritional advice or anything like that. Obviously, direct any concerns to your veterinarian. If you're uncomfortable with that, don't feed it for your own cats. But you have to look at a lot of these things with a lot of nuance. If you are giving your cat kibble in a food puzzle and it's a treat for them and it's enriching for them, you're not a bad cat parent because you're not feeding them raw food or you're not feeding them wet food, or again, God forbid you give them kibble once in a while. It's like if we were to occasionally have some Cheetos, you're not going to die unless you're allergic to Cheetos. I guess then maybe you would.
Then maybe.
But short of that, like you're going to be fine if you occasionally have a treat and there's not some medical reason why you can't have that. It's fine. You're going to be okay. Your cat is going to be okay. Don't get so caught up in being absolutely perfect. Perfect is the enemy of good.
So true. It's supposed to be a treat, and that doesn't mean indulge in it every day and replace your meals with it. That's not how treats are supposed to work. For humans or cats, treat is an occasional thing in small portions, assuming that there isn't an allergy or another reason to avoid that thing. So there's a lot of options, and a lot of times people will be like, my cat doesn't like treats. You know, I've tried everything. You probably haven't tried everything. If you need ideas, you know, ask one of us cat behavior professionals or ask your vet. They'll probably have some ideas that maybe you hadn't thought of because they're not traditionally marketed as cat treats, but they can still potentially be useful. So you should try that. And if your cat still isn't showing interest in any treats, then it might be time to look at what does your feeding schedule look like? What is the feeding amount? Are you feeding your cat? Are they free fed and they're eating too much? And that's one reason they're not interested in treats. If this is a sudden change that your cat used to like treats and now they aren't seeming interested in their treats and they're not seeming interested in their food, is it because you tried to mix meds into their food? Or is it because maybe they have dental pain and they're not showing it in any other ways, but they're just not having as strong of an appetite as they used to, and maybe it's worth investigating. Or they're throwing up more often and you're just like, oh, that's normal, that's what they do. Like, oh, it's not normal. There's usually a reason. If your cat doesn't seem to be food motivated or doesn't seem interested in treats.
It's interesting because people think of treats as being like a monolith, and they're not. If you think about it, so, okay, Misty, let's see if we can come up with like all of the qualities you'd have to think about with treats actually to see if your cat likes it. You'd have to think about flavor. You have to think about texture. Is it dry?
Temperature. You get churro out of the fridge and you give your cat brain freeze.
Yeah, and some cats may like it, or like I will sometimes suggest to people that they freeze a churro on a lick mat or something if it's really hot out because they may like that. Some cats may not like it, but typically warmer treats would be more preferable to cats. If I were to take two lickable treats, let's say that I were to do a churro versus like a cat-it lickable treat, your cat may prefer one over the other because they like the texture of it a little bit better because they've got slightly different textures, or they may like, you know, some of the flavoring, or there's something different that they like better about one or the other.
It can even be the presentation. Because sometimes people are like, my cat won't eat churro out of the tube, but if I put it on a lick mat or if I put it on a dish, then they will. Or maybe they'll eat it off of a spoon and they don't want it right out of the tube.
You have to think about time of day that you're giving the cat, like when you're giving it to them. You have to think about their past experience with that particular treat. So, I mean, there are so many things that you have to take into account. And it might not be that you figured out exactly the right thing. And yeah, it's frustrating that you have to try a bunch of different things, but that's very normal. That's not an abnormal thing to have to do that.
Very true. Have you ever given your cats bonito flakes?
I haven't, but there's a churro pop and serve that it looks like a little jello mold, but it's churro and it
Cute.
has a bonito flake flavor in it. I know at
Cute.
least Poutine really likes it, so
Oh, that's
I might
cool.
have to actually try that.
Bonito flakes are really fun to present to cats for the first time because they have such a strong aroma and they're so lightweight. I think of them like cats' cotton candy. And when the cats start sniffing them, they start flying all over the place like sawdust. And the cats are like sneezing and also really excited. And usually they're very confused. They're like, this smells really tasty, but I don't know how to eat this because it's fluff and it's everywhere and it's in the air. And if they like fish flavors, they usually come around and they're like, OMG, this is the best thing ever. And you can buy bonito flakes that are made for human cooking that are a lot cheaper than the ones that are marketed for cats. So that's a little tip.
I just discovered that Poutine seems to have a preference for tuna or salmon flavored things over chicken flavored things. It seems like he has a slight fishy flavor preference. It's not like he's like, no, I won't eat chicken things.
Does he get tired of the same types of treats if you don't mix it up enough? Or do you feel like you rotate enough as it is that hasn't been a problem?
We are constantly trying new treats around here. I'm not going to lie. I'm always like, I have to keep up on things. So we do mix it up fairly often.
That's good.
That doesn't mean that he's getting only treats or that I'm overfeeding him. Because, fun fact, even if your cat is overweight, you don't have to deprive them of treats in order to help them lose weight. You could always adjust their main feeding a little bit to compensate for some of the treats. And as long as like your veterinarian is okay with the amount that they're getting and that they're getting all of their nutritional needs met and they're not having any sort of nutritional deficiency because you've overdone it and now they have too many treats and not enough of their regular food. Treats are it's fine if for them to have a little bit of it and your cat can still lose weight while having treats. Just be cognizant of that and make sure that you're being careful about how much you're giving them. You can still give your cat a churro if they're on a weight loss journey and they can still be successful with it.